afternoon, good evening. I am surprised I didn't have that intro that I usually have, so it threw me off. But we're here live, and it's December 30th. I got my little angel Gabriel, and joy to the world has come. Let all receive your prayer. Da, 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 da. That just shows you that I don't know the words. But this is Coffee with Kevin. And here's my coffee. Yes, I hope you have a nice hot cup of coffee, hot cup of tea, or water, or smoothie, juice, whatever it is you drink in the morning. I hope you have that with you and are sharing it to you. Mm-hmm. I hope you all had a great Christmas holiday. I did. I had a wonderful day, a wonderful surprise the day after Christmas. My daughter showed up. It was awesome. It was great to see her. I hadn't seen her in a long time. I saw her one day this year, other than when she just came down. So yeah, it was really nice, and she's making a big move, and she had a big surprise for us. She had a boyfriend she's had for 5 months. I hadn't really told us about it. She likes to keep secrets, likes to keep things close to the vest. And so yeah, it was absolutely a great surprise. A great surprise. So we had a great Christmas. I hope you did as well if you celebrate Christmas, or just a holiday if you're not celebrating Christmas at all. Today, December 30th. Oh my God, we're just about out of Christmas. Next week will be next year. Next week will be next year. Can you imagine that? I'm just checking. I'm checking my feed. I want to see if this is actually going live. And we are. I see me live. I think I see me live. Yes, indeedy. So we're out there. If you want to chat, go ahead and chat. I should be seeing the chats. At least I think I am. So come on in and let me know you're there. There we are. Good morning, Brenda. It's my lovely wife, Brenda. December 30th. Today in history, we had a couple of things going on today in history. The formation of the USSR. Yes, the Soviet Union was founded. Okay, it's what is this called? The United Soviet Socialist Republic. So that's the USSR. Born in the USSR. No, never mind. I'll stop the singing, I promise. That's an old Beatles song about going to the USSR. Now known as Russia. It's no longer united. They lost a lot of territories, which are now independent. They're trying to get some back, obviously, with the war in Ukraine, which is a pretty sad thing, with thousands of lives lost just for power struggle in land, if you can believe that. Anyway, another thing today in history is Frank Sinatra released My Way. Oh, maybe I just told you I won't sing anymore. So, all right, I'm not going to sing anymore. But Frank Sinatra released My Way. Okay. Today is a national day. There are December 30th. You know what national day it is? It is National Bicarbonate of soda day. You know, it's actually in my world, back up in New England, we call it tonic. It's soda or whatever name you talk about, Coke or root beer or Sprite or whatever you drink. Bicarbonate soda day, National Bicarbonate Soda Day. Well, actually, it looks like I am wrong. That is not that. That is not. Yeah, there we go. Good morning. Hope you. Good morning, Manya. Had a wonderful Christmas. Bicarbonate of soda is a powder, so I'm wrong. Had that way off. I hope I don't be. I hope I'm not drinking that. It's Falling Needles Family Fest Day. Falling Needles Family Fest Day. What do you think that is? It's that wonderful real Christmas tree that is now probably hadn't been watered in a little while, and all the needles are starting to fall. Oh, let's have a family festival. Yes, and it's also Bacon Day. Off to my friend Chris Hadshade, who has all sorts of clothing representing bacon and loves bacon in every form. It's National Bacon Day today. Yeah, so if any of those float your boat, have fun. Have fun doing this. All right. Now today, it's we're just before the 1st of January, and you expect I'm going to be talking about getting ready for January, getting ready for the new year. And I want to, and I will next week. That's going to be our subject next week, getting ready for the new year, getting focused, getting aligned, really saying, okay, what do I want to do this year that I haven't done yet? What are my things? Excuse me. And we're going to talk about that next week. This morning, I want to talk about something a little different. This morning, I just found out late last night that a good friend of mine lost her husband on Christmas Day. And I know her husband well. Her husband was also a good friend of mine. And we had just seen them both together a couple of weeks ago, dressed up as Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. And it was wonderful. And they're younger than we are. And they're terrific people. And she wrote me last night saying that her husband had passed on Christmas Day. And it was a shock. It was a real shock, especially a loss during the holidays. It's not something you want to deal with. Now, also, just coincidentally, I had been looking up an old school buddy of mine who I found out lives here in Clearwater. And I had been looking, trying to get hold of him through different apps and stuff like that. And I just learned this week on his LinkedIn, there was a message that he passed away this year. Passed away just a couple of months ago. And though I haven't seen him in years, it was just yet another loss. It was someone now of my realm, of my school buddies, that has gone now. He's not that old. I'm not that old. And, what he suffered, what he died from, I don't know. But, it was another loss. We all have loss. Getting up in age, you're losing your parents. I lost both of mine and both of my wife's parents. They're gone. And so you have more and more loss as you get old. But loss doesn't stay, it's not only for the older. I had lost some friends when I was much younger to accidents and things like that. And it's a shock when you first realize you have this person that you've known, that you like to talk to, you like to hang around with, and they're not going to be around anymore. It's a shock when that first happened to you, especially if you're a bit younger but can understand death, can understand permanency, like in your teens and stuff like that. It's a shock. And then you experience that all year long. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. because I've thought of loss in the past, thought of how to deal with it, and I've helped people. I've attended grief meetings where I've helped people. I've had clients that were dealing with grief, and I've helped them with that too. So I just wanted to share that today. So I apologize for going down this path, which you know should be joyful, but let's talk about that in a second. Well, let's talk about that now. Okay, when I looked up the obituary, and I was invited at 10 a.m. for a memorial service. That's the text I got from my friend who lost her husband. So I was invited at that for later on this week. And when I looked it up, I found the obituary and I found the services, and they called it a celebration of life. And I've heard that before. I've seen that before. And really, that's what it should be all about. You're celebrating the life of that person. You're celebrating the life of that human being. You know, what did they do in their life? How do they impact people? Now, this man was a husband and a father and had two great kids. I think maybe three, one from a previous marriage. And so he was a father, and he was a husband, and he was a business owner, and he impacted the lives of many people that work for him. And over the years, he impacted the lives of many people he did work for. So the celebration of life. And many times we go to the death. Many times when we're thinking of that, we go to the death, we go to the loss. And the loss is more of a real personal thing, right? And it's understandable. It's understandable to go and think of the loss and stay on it. But it's really about that person who now is no longer with us, who is now on the other side, who had a life here and had a lot of positive impact. It's really about that. And when we can focus on that more than focus on our personal loss, then we can actually find that love and all the good positive memories and feelings, and we can live with that as opposed to living with the loss. And it's not just loss of people that are close to us that we grieve. It's loss of everything. So over the years, especially in these economic conditions, people have lost their jobs, they've lost their homes, they've lost their situations, they've lost a lot of things. And that's something we grieve as well, because we look at it as a loss. So it's not just the grief of losing someone close to us, it's losing something in our lives. And both of those can cause, if not allowed to go naturally, both of those can cause problems in our bodies, in our minds. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, because it's impacting me. I felt a loss when I learned about this, and I'm feeling very sad for my friend, and her family. So that's why I wanted to bring this up today. I bring a lot of personal things in here. I used to, the whole show used to be about what's going on in Kevin's life, but it got boring. Anyway, my first quote today is, grief is the price we pay for love. And it's true, absolutely true. Grief is the price we pay for love. If we didn't love that person, if that person just is someone ancillary, we'd feel a little sad, but we're not going to be grieving. And that's something I try to teach the people that I work with, is you wouldn't be grieving if you didn't have this great love for that person. And that love is in here. And I try to get them connected with the fact that that's never going to go. That is that person represented in the love we feel for them. And it's true. Grief is the price we pay for love. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. I love this one because it's great, and it is a perfect reframe for those who have had a loss of someone they love. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. And if you can bring that belief in light, I like to say they're in us, but walking beside us is so cooler, so much cooler. I lost my brother a couple years ago. He was a lot of, he's older than me, but we had, when I was growing up, he was the one who would take me out, take me to movies, take me fishing. We had a good time together, and he was part of my upbringing. And I lost him a couple years ago. Lost my mom about 10 years before that, maybe not that long. I still talk to both of them. When something comes to mind that reminds me of them, it's like reminds me of the fact that, when this happened, I would usually either write or call them. I talk to them in here, in my heart. They're still there. They haven't gone away. I haven't forgotten, and I don't want to forget. But the grief, the loss that I felt is nowhere near as strong, because it's more the joy, it brings a smile to my face when I think of, oh man, if I could only tell my brother this, he would love to hear this, or he'd think I was silly or stupid. That brings a smile to my face when I think of things like that. There's no right way to grieve. There's only your way. I picked this because it's true. People are always looking for, how grief is going to work, how long it's going to last. There's no right way to grieve. It's only your way. Okay, so when we look at others grieving, we can't judge. We can't judge because everybody grieves in their own way. The only time I think it needs intervention is if it lasts too long, is if it's hurting that person in the way they're living. That's when grief is turned into full-blown depression. That's the time where it needs intervention, it needs help. All right. Grief is not a sign of weakness. A lot of the times we'll think that. We'll think I shouldn't be grieving. I shouldn't be crying. It's not a sign of weakness, nor is it a lack of faith. It is the price of love. I picked this because it is so beautiful. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. Yes, when we choose to love someone or something, even when it goes away, we feel bad. We are grieving. We feel really sad because we love them. I said it before. If you didn't love that person, you wouldn't grieve. And you say, well, they're gone. If there was nothing in there, it would be okay with you. Yeah, it's sad someone lost their life, but you wouldn't grieve. So when you're grieving for someone, just know that it's because you love them, and they more than likely loved you too, the same way, if not more, sometimes. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is a price of love. Remember that. Grief is love with nowhere to go. I chose this because it's so simple. The nowhere to go means, okay, I lost somebody that I loved, and I'm here in my grief. Sometimes we try to push out the grief. We try to reject it because we don't want to feel that weakness. It's not weak, as the last ones said. This one was by Helen Keller, who lost her sight, her hearing, her ability to speak. We have once enjoyed what we have once enjoyed deeply, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. What or who we have once enjoyed deeply, we can never lose. All who that we love deeply becomes a part of us. How's that? That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. And it's absolutely right. If you love somebody, you have someone in your life, and sometimes it doesn't matter how short of a time, they become part of you when they're gone. They're there always. In our last one of the day, grief never ends, but it changes. This is a great reframe because we think, well, if I get over my grief, that means I no longer miss them, I no longer love them. So if you believe that grief never ends, but it changes. It becomes something more. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Yes. I'm sorry this was a little bit of a downer for some of you, but it's something we all have to deal with. We experience this in our lives in all sorts of ways. So to look at it from these ways, from the fact that, it's because of love that you grieve. In grief isn't something that's going to stay around in its form like it is right after a loss. And the fact that you grieve only because you love that person. And the love never goes away. If you keep these in mind, it makes it so much easier to deal with. But not only that, it actually shows you, and I tell people this all the time, hey, that's someone you loved. You felt something for that person deep in here, and it's still there. And it's still there. Reflect on the love. Reflect on the life of that person, not the loss of that person. And you'll be doing much better. Wow. Okay, let's transition. Let's transition to the fact that only 2 days away to the new year. 2 days away to 2026. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I've said this at the beginning of almost every show, that I can't believe how far we've gone in the year. The year seems like it just started, and it's just flew by. And it's true. Here we are, the 30th of December, 2 days away from the new year, 2026. And if you are grieving a loss, or you've got some things that haven't gone right in 2025, then look to start anew. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's always great to start new, right? Each day is a new day. You can put the past behind you and move forward. And New Year's is meant for that to begin with. Everybody celebrates this. Everybody has their New Year's resolutions. What are you going to resolve for this new year? Better yet, what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do for yourself to make it a great year? All right? I will see you next week. I will see you in 2026. And we're going to talk about starting this year off with a phenomenal bang. How's that? That's what came to mind. Fireworks are in my head because it's New Year's, and I'm down in Florida, and there's fireworks stores everywhere. Everybody's selling fireworks to celebrate the new year. How are you going to celebrate the new year? It doesn't have to be with fireworks, realistic fireworks, but you can have mental fireworks going on. You can have fireworks for you and your loved ones. Mental fireworks being the love and the excitement that you're going to bring to the new year. How are you going to do that? Fantastic. All right. If you like this, don't forget to like this. I love that. And or you can love this. Actually, it's not just a like, it's a love. And if you like this, comment and share, please. See you next week. Take care. Bye.